Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 17th of May, and starting with the ASX here. So everything's going pretty much according to plan. So from this low here, we've got 1 and 2, and we're looking all the way up here for wave 3, and we're looking for 5 waves within this space here. So of 1 degree smaller, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third one, the fourth one, and we're looking for 5 waves up here. The only problem with this, as I mentioned before, is that this is my problem. I can count, well, 1 and 2 and 3 here. Wave 4 here has overlapped wave 1 here, so that's a bit of a no-no. But I think it's still the best count for this particular market. In some of the European markets, we've got wave 4 sitting here already, with wave 3 sitting over here. So I've still got a problem of lining all the markets up around the world, but that's okay. We just kind of stay with that for a moment. But I do think this is the best count as it stands so far here, as the 1 and the 2 and the 3 with an overlap on wave 4 here. Like I mentioned, if I've made a mistake here, then we'll need to put this over here later, but that will become clear in hindsight, unfortunately, in this particular case. But yeah, so we should be making new highs here soon. So let's just drill in here, starting with the 4-hour chart here. Yeah, I mean, this move down through here does count as 5 waves, as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here being really high and overlapping wave 1 here, this wave 1 here rather, and wave 5 here, and also wave 4 here, also overlapping wave 1 here. So we've got a breach, we've got 2 breaches here, and then the move down here. The other way to count this, which would be a better fit, would be all of this being the A wave down to here. So basically a small A, B and C wave down to here, with 5 waves in this move here. And then this move from this low here all the way back up here, that really just touched in at the 61.8% retracement level for wave B, as it roughly should. So that fits really quite well. So we can have that as an A and a B and a C wave here. And then we'd be looking for 5 waves up through here. So this is what we're looking at here at the moment. So let's just go in and have a look at this. So from the low of wave 4 there, we just bring this in here. So this is what I'm thinking here, seems to be with wave 3 up here in that case. So wave 1 here and wave 2 here. Oops, a daisy. Wave 2 there, and then counting 5 waves up here. So you should be able to see that visually there. It's quite a clear sort of structure here. So a little bit of sort of jostling around the 6,400 here, and well, if I had to go long here, I would either buy at both of these wave 4 pullbacks here. That means working within group 2 here, or you could wait for wave 5 to finish up here and an ABC here, and then you've got a classic trading levels pattern here where we have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the ABC pattern. So that's, if we can just have a look at that here, I think it's good if I go over these things. Just bear with me a second. So this is the pattern here. It's a very simple pattern. You don't need to know Elliott, and it's just the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. This will be in 5 waves here, and then we'll get an A and a B and a C back. Can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, sometimes shorter, and then finding support back up on the level. So you've got this point here to go long on, or even add to positions. You've got the second high. Sometimes, most of the time, it works out quite nicely. Most of the time too, this entry here will, this high here will be the same as this one, depending on how high that's gone. But the main point is taking this one out here, but you can refine it by getting in early if you can, get this third high in place here. And of course, the variation to that is where it doesn't come down through here and it just comes down to here and bounces off here and then moves up from there. And I just call that the variation pattern. So just like walking upstairs. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, coming down here and then taking this one out and adding to this one here. But normally if this is happening at a level here like the 6,400, that's the main number there. And then, we've also got, within all of this, we've got group 1, so 1, 2 and 3 here, and then group 2 here down below here. That's the swing range for the corrective pattern within this space. So yeah, there's a lot more to discuss in all of this here, but yeah, this little move from wave 2 here to wave 3 here would be looking for, you guessed it, a 38.2% retracement level, so from here to here. So it can drop down to here, but a lot of the time group 2 is really quite supportive, so it may not come all the way back down here. And that reference point here will be, wherever that low is, that will be important, because this one over here can pull back to this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree as well. So we may be able to push that up a little bit through here. But this would be, any of these would be good buying opportunities, depending on if you certainly want to take profit here, if that's half of the profit at least, or 70%, something like that. And then build back in it or take it, whatever. I mean, everybody's different. So, you got to do what, you got to develop your own style and you got to develop your own rules. I'm just here as a set of flags to swim between. Alrighty, let's move on to the other markets. So, India here. So, as you know, I've been looking for an A wave and a B wave and a C wave down here. And I've made a couple of mistakes. I thought that this wave 5 might be sitting on this low here, but it's bounced down further. The other point here is that we need to be a little bit mindful here, because if this moved down if I've got this wrong in some way, and this is wave 1 here and wave 2 here and wave 3 coming down here, well then this will be wave 4 here and then down for wave 5 here. So that's really possible. So couple of things here. This is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. We can also have a look at the 38.2% retracement level, which also comes in, really close here as well. So what we can do is, that's the top and that's that roughly. So I guess we need to understand the structure first. So we could look at this here, if this is going to be a wave 4 up here, and then another move down, that would be the A wave, that would be the B wave, and then we'd be looking for the C wave up here. So that C wave would be there. So it's important to understand this because it can also give us our long trade. So this C wave here should be in 5 waves. So you can, I haven't pulled that apart, but it's 1 and 2 in here. So be a 3rd wave moving up, be a 4th wave back, and then there'll be a little 5th wave up here. So this is kind of good really, because we'll get wave 5 up here. And then that there becomes our reference point, this one here. So if I can take this one here now, I'll remove that because that's just a half a position size. Copy this one, a full position size. So we want that top to be in place, okay? Because if it's a corrective pattern as an A and a B and 5 waves here for wave C, then we shouldn't see any more upside. We would only see downside at that point. We would only see this here move down at that point there, okay? So, yeah, just allow that top to come in and roll over back down. And if it's going to move up, then you're going to be okay, because it'll move up and take that, and then we know that we're right at that point, okay? This also means too that the stop here technically will be in the same place. We've talked about this before, but now we're just refining it a little bit. So yeah, that's that really. Also too, if the market, copy this, moves up there, we also want to look for a classic trading levels pattern up there as well. And in this case here, we can start looking. I won't label this in a positive mode just yet, but we'll just pull these out of the way here. So if this market is going to push higher here, then we're going to get the same thing up here. We're going to get the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective pattern here, and then we'll be moving up here again. So we can also look to, because if it's going to fail, that's where it will fail from. So then we can also put that over here. We could probably come down a little bit further there as well. But they would be the safe trades to the long side. In terms of the short trade coming down, if I could just copy that, well, I always find that this is group 1 here of 11,000, 1, 2 and 3. If the number 2 here becomes the resistance, then that creates the short trade here. Even over here, you know, the market came through here and came back up and tested it here. So technically that trade could have been under here, short trade, or under here. That's this pattern here in reverse over here. So that would have been the short trade here. So yeah, so we can put that under there. Also the same thing here, one thing here as well is that if we take this low here and this high here, and that's the 61.8% mark here. So it's okay for this market to go up here as 1 and come back all this way here as 2, but to go under the 61.8%, which would be also, you know, starting to use this number. The Fibonacci is fantastic, but always gravitate towards where all the orders are going to be. You know, people think in certain numbers. Some have got priority over others. So yeah, that would be the right thing to do at that stage. And yeah, and if that comes down as a short trade here, then you certainly want to be taking money off the table at 11,000 there. I know it's not a lot. It's only a small piece of the cake, but should be enough to buy a beer. Okay, let's have a look at Hong Kong and China. So Hong Kong first. So this run up here has moved up to the 61.8% at the 30,000 here at major trading level 3. Now I could count this up here as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here. And that's the end of it, and we'll come much further down at that stage. But we don't have 5 waves down yet. We only have 1, 2, and 3 down here. Same thing it goes here, as I just explained to India. If we go up here for 4 and then come down here for 5, then we'll have 5 waves down here. And if that's the case, we'd have an ABC pattern, which would go back up 50 or 60%. So then we can look to short, and we would have reason to short, because we know that if we got 5 waves here, then we can look to see the corrective move here, and we'll have another 5 coming down through here, and we'll go much lower at that point. But I don't know that just yet, because over here it counts very nicely too as 5 waves up here, and then a corrective wave back, and this one up here does count as an A and a B and a C wave up here, so it can be up for 1, an A and a B and a C wave back down here for wave 2 here. So it leaves possibility of this being wave 3 here, and that's the low of wave 4 here in this case. So we could just move straight up from here as well. So we need to gather more information. So at this stage here, we've got wave 3 or wave C up here. That doesn't matter. We can have this as an A and a B and a C wave here, or we can have it as 5 waves down. Now, one of the points here is that it was a little bit difficult to count with no price action within this space here. So I don't know if we got wave 1 to here or we got wave 1 to here. That's the problem. If wave 1 is here, then the ABC down here is finished, because we would have wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here, and then that would be finished here. But if I count that as wave 1, then I'm still one wave short, and that means that this can come down here one more time, and this move up through here can come back up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, or the 38.2% retracement level, which is here, and come into any of this space here, which is really quite high at the 61.8% here of wave 3 here. I'll just go to this move here. So I don't know if we've got wave 4 here or we're starting the bull run to the upside here. So the same thing would account here, in that we've got this as the A wave, the B wave here, and the C wave here would also have 5 waves. So you just need to have a little closer look. This would be wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then we'll be looking for a bit of a short wave 3 here, wave 3, 4, and 5. So we still have to go higher here as well. This gap over here looks like a nice place for that to happen. It's either that or the 28,650 here in there. So I don't really have any answers for this just yet. Certainly if the 28 becomes the resistance here, then obviously you can be shorting at that point there. Yeah, I don't think China's going to be much help because it'll be in the same position as well. China's in the same position here as well. So I think I'm still one wave short down here. So we've got 1 here and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 over here, 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here for 3, and then an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here coming back up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. It does look a little bit lazy and struggling here, corrective. So we just need to see which side this 13,000 sits on. That's all we need to do here. But yeah, any move above this wave 4 here, and we can go along from that point, but need to sit on that level there. Okay, so I'm not clear on some of these Asian markets, but yeah, we just need to get a little bit more price action. We're not missing much anyway, but we're looking for the US market to move up higher. We're also looking for the Australian market to move up higher. So that's pretty much the direction. I just don't have a clear, if I had 5 waves off the bottom here and a top in place, then we could move in from that point, but I just don't have a safe trade yet. It is trying to find support here. It has done the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and it's trying to find support here now. So these reference points, these highs here, can become catalysts for triggers to the upside. You'd always just put that 1 point above there, because there'll be a lot of orders sitting right on the top there on that, whatever that top number is. It was enough to turn it lower. So you need to clear those out the way, and so having it a point or two above would clear them out of the system. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the weekend. Cheers.